City boy, city boy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And you know we gotta go ahead and do our Friday night SmackDown review. And we're giving a shout out to the hater today because it's Nathan on the road, baby. All right, we're on the road this morning. There's not much to talk about in the show, so I was like, fuck it, I could just do this shit on the way to my 9 to 5. All right, punk ass 9 to 5. No, I'm just playing. I love this job. But anyways, right? What did we get last night? Cody Rhodes in a 3-piece powder blue suit. All right, cutting a promo about love and respect and happiness. All right. And then Paul Heyman wants to come out with the bronze, all right, with Braun squared, however you want to call him, right? With the bronze, he comes out and proceeds to say absolutely fucking nothing, man. Like that's Paul Heyman's greatest ability, is to pick up a microphone and speak words and say absolutely fucking nothing, man. And the same with Cody Rhodes. Am I talking to the advocate? Am I talking to the oracle? Am I talking to the wise man? I just want to know. Like, who was this written for, man? Who's sitting at home like, oh, this is just straight up compelling TV. This is great. Cody Rhodes is just the best. I don't know. I can't. If you're thinking this, right? If this is something that you actually legitimately believe, that Cody Rhodes is somehow this great freaking, I don't even know how would you even explain Cody Rhodes in the 1980s, right? Like I sometimes think about this. Like, how would I explain that, or to like a Hulk Hogan, that in 30 years time, it's gonna be a fucking 6 foot nothing, 210 pound at most, fucking cuck, bleached blonde hair, white dude that's running, that's the face of the company. And all this face of the company talks about is love and respect and how much he respects his opponents and all this and that, right? Like, I'm not trying to come out here and listen to Cody Rhodes talk about how much he loves and respects Seth Rollins, because he loves and respects everybody. What's unique about the relationship between you and Seth Rollins, between you know, everyone else that you've been in a feud with? Give me that. Give me something else. I understand that Crown Jewel is coming up and you have to do the champion versus champion. I guess that was the whole thing that you worked out with Saudi. And that's fine. If you're going to do the champion versus champion, understand that there needs to be bragging rights, right? Because didn't we do the same thing with Survivor Series back in the day, when we actually had good Survivor Series, when it was when it was Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, and then the team that won, they had bragging rights for the year, right? If that should be the you know, at least something, at least to add to the story, not just a fucking ring that we're only going to see once a year, right? If anything, whoever wins one of these Saudi rings, they should never be able to take that shit off. They should always be advertising that shit. Like, I'm the Saudi champ this year. You know what I mean? Or the Crown Jewel champ this year. So it is what it is, right? Crown Jewel champ should be able to, you know, set his own match somewhere, do something. But no, we're not getting any of that. All we're getting, right? Because at least if you have a kind of stipulation or something that where the story can go beyond just, oh, I'm gonna win the ring or you're gonna win the ring, right? I respect you, I love you, I just want you to respect yourself, Seth. I want you to think highly of yourself, Seth. Instead of that garbage, instead of that nonsense that we get on a week-to-week basis, why don't we get some actual steaks? But we don't have that, man. Any steaks that we get is not even cooked. You know what I'm saying? That shit's still bloody as fuck in the middle. Now this review of sorts is going to be a bit disjointed, because there's a lot of things that I really wanted to talk about before we can even talk about the show in its entirety. All right? Like, I have a question for Mr. Paul Levesque, right? Paul, if Tiffany Stratton was going to win the match anyway, right? If she was going to win the match anyway, if it didn't matter whether Nia Jax kicked out or not anyway, because the outcome of the match wasn't going to change anyway, why not just have the ref count to 3? You have the ref out there looking like a complete fool, like a complete idiot. Like the ref is bought off, right? The ref is supposed to have some kind of, they're supposed to maintain some kind of professional, you know what I mean? The professional aura, right? They have a certain amount of authority in that ring. They're calling all the spots, right? We've seen this in the Unreal, right? You're calling all the spots from the back. Referees telling them every single thing to fucking do in there, right? Pretty much. So while this is the case, you have to give the ref some kind of credibility. The ref still has to have some kind of credibility. I know it's a fake sport. I know it is. I know it's predetermined. Do not get me wrong. But at the end of the day, the ref cannot look like this, man. This makes, like, we all know that professional wrestling is a work. We are well aware of this at this point in time, right? But the very least that you can do, just like we know when we're watching a movie, just like we know when we're watching any other regular TV show, right? Just like we know that this shit that we're watching is fake, we're making a bargain with the creator of whatever content we're watching that, yeah, whatever we're watching right now, it might be fake, but as long as you entertain me, I'm willing to sit through it. I'm willing to watch it, right? That is the bargain that you're making with your audience anytime you put something out. It's the bargain I make with you guys. It's the bargain any content creator makes with their audience when they start putting out content. And it's the same with Triple H, same with WWE, same with all of these companies, right? It is your job to entertain and make the people believe that what they're seeing right now, for the time being, is real. They want to feel that it's real. All right? That this shit could happen, in some kind of a logical universe, right? But we cannot get that in an era where Triple H is having the referee, who is obviously supposed to, or not supposed to count to three. They're obviously not supposed to count to three. But for some reason, Nia Jax doesn't kick out, and we just let her fucking count to two, and then stick the two up, and Nia Jax still hasn't kicked out. It's not like this was just like a slightly late kick out. You know what I mean? If you've seen this, you saw how egregious this shit was, right? You saw how fucking awful, how terrible this shit looked, right? Nia Jax didn't kick out until 10 seconds after the bitch said it was a 2 count. It was horrible to see on TV. And it just makes everybody look like fucking amateurs, man. This is a product that you're putting on nationally televised television, man. This is a nationally televised show. And you can't even iron out these types of things. And let's just say the match ends a little bit early, 2-3 minutes more early than it normally would have. What kind of spots did we get in those last couple of minutes that actually warranted this massive of a botch? Nothing memorable. Nobody's going to be talking about this match after today, after tomorrow. Nobody cares, because nobody cares about Tiffany Stratton. All right, you have botched, absolutely completely botched Tiffany Stratton's title run. All right, nobody cares about Tiffany Stratton at this point. She is the bimbo blonde who wins everything. Right? She's the bimbo blonde that wins everything. And maybe that works for some people, but obviously for most people it's not. That's why the viewership of SmackDown has dropped off so significantly, because nobody cares about Tiffany Stratton. All right, she's fun to look at from time to time. All right, but she does get annoying. All we hear is that it's Tiffy time, and then she goes out and the match is predictable as always. How is Tiffany Stratton 5'2.5" in there with two women who are 5'10", 5'11" respectively, both over 200 pounds respectively? How is she in there with a ring with both of these people, and somehow, some way, she still finds a way? Not through cunning, not through strategy, none of that. Just sheer strength. Sheer will of character, I guess. Right? She's just not going to kick out because it's not her time to kick out. Triple H hasn't scripted her to kick out yet. Or to take the pin yet, I should say. Triple H hasn't scripted her to take the pin yet. So that's where we're at. We got another 20-30 minute Sami Zayn match. I can't take any more of these Sami Zayn matches. It's like Triple H thinks that Triple H hears all the time that John Cena had one of the greatest U.S. title reigns of all time, and it's because he had the open challenge, right? So he was able to bring up and coming stars and put them over, this, that, and the other, right? The reason why that worked It wasn't just because it was an open challenge. It wasn't just because, well, there was, there were storylines attached to this as well, right? It wasn't just John Cena coming out every week and it was just somebody different, right? Although that did happen quite a few times, right? Where John Cena, he would just be like, hey, bring him out, you know what I mean? Somebody come on out here. But there were still storylines that happened throughout the night with it, or that traveled a couple of weeks, right? Came through a couple of weeks. Somebody, challenged him at a pay-per-view. Whatever the case was, there were still storylines attached to it. And not only that, you had a 14, 15, 16-time world champion at that time who had been in the business 15 years at that time, right? Who had beaten everybody. So now, yes, it is time to put John Cena over. But Sami Zayn has been a jobber 90% of his career, right? Sami Zayn is a jobber. Sami Zayn, to this point in time, still, to this fucking day, has not won a world championship. Not even the B title, right? So this is not going to work the same. You're going to have to give Sami Zayn some kind of storyline to work with here. Something. He can't just go out there every single week and just have a match with somebody new. All right? Which black guy are we going to bring from the back to bury this week? Last week it was Carmelo. We're going to bury him again. We're going to bury him against Street Profits so they don't say nothing, right? But we're going to bury him 2 weeks in a row. We're going to bury Javon Evans in his first, I think it was his first, that was either his first or his second televised match. I want to say that Javon Evans was in another match sometime like 5 or 6 months ago, but I can't even recall at this point because of how, these shows are not memorable. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure that was like Javon, either his first or his second televised match on the main roster. And you have him lose. You come up and you have him lose. He does all this shit. All these jumping, flipping, dives and flying. Sean, Sami Zayn needs an opponent tonight. I was hoping you could send up one of those black guys. Well, Hunter, I don't know what you're talking about. 80% of the roster down here is black. Which one are you talking about? The black one with the dreads. You're gonna have to do a little bit better. We got Obafemi, we got Saquon, we got, you know what I mean? We got quite a few black guys with dreadlocks out here. We got Trick Williams. Which one? The young one, I'm forgetting his name. I'm spacing. Javon, right? The bouncy kid, right? Javon Evans, right? Yeah, Mr. Bouncy. Yeah. What did you need him for? I was just gonna have him job out to Sami Zayn. That's it. That's how this shit went, man. Javon Evans comes out here, does all this spectacular shit. And if you saw, right, if you were actually watching this match, you saw that the audience, they were behind Javon the whole time. They were behind Javon Evans this entire match, especially the longer the match went on. They were just hoping and praying that Javon Evans would win this match. But anybody who knows this product, anybody who's been watching for the last 2 weeks, right? Because all you need is 2 weeks to pretty much figure out what's going on this show, right? If you've been watching for the last 2 weeks at the very least, you knew Sami Zayn was going over here. All right? But there was hope. There was hope in the crowd, and you could see that the hope absolutely died when Sami Zayn hit that 3 count. When Sami Zayn hit that 3 count, the energy in the arena dissipated. All right? Because nobody cares about Sami Zayn. Nobody cares. Nobody wants Sami Zayn on their television screen. Nobody. All right? If I could never see Sami Zayn again on my television screen, I would not care. I would not care. And I have to mention this too, because I'm always talking shit about Sami Zayn. I'm pretty sure I'd have a beer with bro, right? We could have a drink together. You know what I mean? I feel like Sami Zayn would be funny as fuck in real life, right? His heel character used to be hilarious. He's a hilarious guy. Don't get me wrong. But as the good guy babyface, right? He is not entertaining. He is boring as fuck. This is not good television, Triple H. And the audience is telling you this on a weekly basis, that this is not what we want to see. And for some reason, you're just continuing. It's not like this is a Roman Reigns situation where it's obvious that Roman Reigns, he has the potential. right? Where it's just so obvious that Roman Reigns has superstar, main event level potential. So, but we just have to find the right story. We have to find the right circumstances, right? That we have to, because at the end of the day, Roman Reigns, he got booed for a long time, but you can't say that Vince McMahon was wrong about Roman Reigns, because he is the biggest star in the company now, right? He is. There's no question about it. There's no doubt about it. Besides, obviously John Cena, but he's on his way out the door, literally. 1 foot out already. So, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, those are the biggest names on your roster, and we see none of them. We see none of them. None of them showed up on tonight's show. We just had Cody Rhodes, right? 20-minute match between the Street Profits and the fucking Wyatt Six, or Street Profits and Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. All right, this storyline's been going on for like 6 months. They're still asking the same exact question: can these two people coexist? Who cares at this point? All right, you lost my interest week 2 after this shit, right? Week 2, you lost my interest. So nobody cares about that. Obviously, the Street Profits win over because they're just number one contenders. All right, they are the number one contenders. And I don't even know where like the Motor Shitty. I don't know where Motor Shitty is. I don't know where fucking Fraxium is. I don't know where fucking I know one of the guys on Pretty Deadly is hurt right now. Where the fuck is DIY? Right? I don't know where any of these other tag teams are. All right, the only 2 tag teams I've been seeing on this motherfucker, or 3, I guess technically you could say, is Carmelo and The Miz, right? Melodome Miz, the Street Profits, and the Wyatts. Those are the only tag teams, only teams that I've seen consistently over the last few weeks. That is not okay. That is not okay. All right? Another 20-minute match between fucking B-Fab, Michin, Kiana James, and Julia. Julia's done. Julia's done. Triple H, you've killed her. You've murdered Julia's run before it could really get legs. You murdered it. All right? You haven't given her any storylines. You gave her fucking Kiana James. This is the most out of place shit. Giving her Kiana James out of all people to be her manager, right? And then you're putting her in tag team matches when she's the fucking United States champion. She should be defending that shit. She should be defending the United States championship every single week. Cutting a promo every single week. Or having her manager come out, talk about how badass she is. Every single week. This is what we should be getting. But ever since Kiana James has become fucking Julia's manager, all she's done is try to become anybody else's manager. She's giving her card out to Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax. She's giving her card out. Mi Chen got a hold of her card and she's mad she's not returning her calls. Mi Chen has been on the roster for like 6 fucking years at this point. Who knows how fucking long? She's been on the roster so damn long at this point. Kiana James just got there, and for some reason she's begging her for a title opportunity. What does this do for anybody? Triple H? Yet another. Clock it. One of the worst SmackDowns of all times, but we're just like, it's getting redundant to say that because of how bad the show has been this year. And it's just getting worse and worse by week. So I'm not even going to say, oh, one of the worst SmackDowns. Because you just know that when you come into the video. You know that this is one of the worst SmackDowns of all time, all right? The show ended off with fucking Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vauquer, holding up their titles, their respective championships, because they're going to be facing off each other, champion versus champion at Crown Jewel. All right? Do you care about this? Because I don't give one single iota of a fuck about this. I don't care. I do not care. They have not made me care about Stephanie yet. They have not made me care about Tiffany. In fact, they've made me despise Tiffany. I was one of Tiffany's biggest supporters when she first came. I wanted Tiffany to win. I was pushing for Tiffany Stratton to win that Elimination Chamber. That's how fucking far back this shit goes. And I was like, she needs to win this Elimination Chamber. Right? This is the perfect opportunity for her to win the Elimination Chamber. That's what I was thinking. Right? But obviously she lost. She won the Money in the Bank. Got into that whole shit with Nia Jax where Triple H just completely killed her character. She's supposed to be this arrogant, blonde Barbie type girl, rich daddy's money type girl, and she's playing second fiddle to Nia Jax for some reason. And she chose to. It's not like Nia Jax like punked her out one day, you know what I mean? And no, she chose to start trying to become Nia Jax's second in command. So do you care about this? I don't care about this. I could not possibly give a fuck about this, all right? Let me know what y'all thought about the show down in the comments below, all right? I gave this show a 1 out of 10, personally, all right? We had Javon Evans on the show, so it was nice to see him. We had Sol Ruka and Zarya backstage with Charlotte Flair. That's another thing I forgot to mention, but really, who cares, right? But that it is good to see NXT talent, even though the only reason why we saw them is because they were in Orlando tonight, right? If they're in Florida, you're more than likely going to see NXT talent. But if they're not in Florida, Triple H is not going to spend the money to fly NXT talent to wherever they're at. That's the problem here. So, yeah, like I said, let me know what y'all thought of the show down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. And this has been your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.